Welcome to another edition of We Need to Talk About Movies. Brought to you by banterflix.com. And now, here's your host, Jim McLean.
Hello, I'm your host Jim McLean. May the 4th be with you with our special Star Wars edition of the Bandflix Cinecast as we look back at the highs and lows of the Star Wars games that we've played in our past. So joining me in the special edition of the Cinecast is Bill, I have a bad feeling about this, Taylor.
Hello.
Brian, it's a trap, Mulholland.
Hi.
And Leigh, there's always a bigger fish, Forgie.
Hi.
Alright guys, so that took a lot of effort, I have to say, to get through that. But we're going to be talking, as I said there, about iconic and some of our favourite from our youth and maybe now even like more recent, some of the Star Wars games. Bill, you are our Grumpy Gamer on the TV show, so we will put you down as our Yoda on this Cinecast.
I'm not that old, but sure, why not?
But we'll start talking about games. And anything come straight out for you guys? Any from your youth can you remember playing? Before we come to you, as I say, you are the Yoda on this subject. So, Leigh, Brian, what about you? Any big Star Wars video games from your youth?
Why am I on this show? I've rarely played any of the Star Wars games. I remember one on PlayStation 1 where you were, again, Bill will tell me what this game was. It was definitely a level in Hoth, and you were controlling a snow speeder.
Shadows of the Empire.
That's what I played then, which I pretty much enjoyed. I remember the arcade.
Is that not N64?
Yeah.
Was it N64?
I think it was N64,
yeah.
yeah.
It
was the launch game for N64.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, there you are. Yeah. I remember an arcade game years ago, which was the trilogy movies.
Yeah.
Do you remember that one?
With the joystick?
With the joystick.
Yeah.
I loved that one. The one with, because I'm a huge Han Solo fan, so the Millennium Falcon one, even though in theory it would have been
Lando
driving at that time, but the kind of
in Han's clothes though.
In Han's clothes, what more? Yeah. If I was taken down, I would want every one of you to wear my clothes as
as homage.
As an homage, yeah. So,
but you don't even need to die. Just somebody takes you much in carbonite.
Yeah. If I'm ever frozen,
be a bit inappropriate, like if Lando shows up in Episode 8 still wearing Han's clothes, and someone kind of goes, "Did you not see the last movie?"
See if he's wearing a leather jacket with a hole in the back. times will have been really hard for you.
And maybe Han will get buried in his lovely cape.
Yeah.
That's right.
Spoilers, but everyone's seen it. Yeah, no, I love that arcade game. It was the one where it was like scrolled up the screen, didn't it?
Aye.
You were Luke on the speeder bike.
Oh, that was Return of the Jedi.
Right.
Luke,
and
it was isometric view.
That's what it was, right?
Yeah.
Luke on the speeder bike, and then the Millennium Falcon.
It was the Millennium Falcon going into the thing, and then you were an
Starkiller base.
No, Death Star 2, and then
Death Star times 100.
You were in an adult walker.
That's the one I love that as a kid.
Chewie, and then you were flying the Falcon back down the pipe, getting away from
him. Yeah. So it kind of it's the end of that movie was like 3 different things going on. You kind of controlled all of them. Yeah, I loved that as a kid. I put a lot of giant 10p's into the machine for that. Remember when 10p's were bigger? Yeah. Just thank God I'm not the only one that remembers 10p's used to be bigger. It used to be size of like bin lids.
Yeah, and 10p got you on the computer game, not nowadays where you need like a £1 or £2 coin.
I know. It was good times.
But what about you, Leigh?
Well, the game from my youth that I like is no longer, none of it's considered canon anymore, but this kind of fits in with what's coming out, right? I used to love a game called, and Bill will know this straight away, I used to love a game called Dark Forces, which is essentially Star Wars does Doom, but without the blood and guts.
Yeah.
And then it eventually became Jedi Knight. But the first game pretty much told the story that Rogue One is going to tell in a couple of months' time.
Yeah.
So but it kind of is still kind of canon. Kyle Katarn and his Moldy Crow ship and stuff. It kind of is. Because his ship and his characters and all the ones from that computer game series are available for the X-Wing Minis game, which is, it's official Disney product.
Yeah.
So it'd be a nice nod in Rogue One if it's there.
So it is still canon. So. Yeah.
Was it first person then?
Yeah, it was like Doom.
But I remember being obsessed by that game and going to PC World as it was like in the old in Lisburn, around at Spruce Field and playing it on their PCs in there. Like that was it. There was that, and I think they also had the Star Trek. We'll not mention Star Trek on the Star Wars show, but a Star Trek: The Next Generation video game. I remember those two things being on the computers and just being obsessed with them.
And it was also like the sequels were the first games I remember that actually let you play as a Jedi. Like I don't show me age here, and I know there's this sort of 2D sort of side scroller ones, but it was the first one where you're like, I'm a Jedi, just fucking slicing everything, you know. But I have a particular affection for those games, as well as the Rogue Squadron games, which you know are unreal.
See, I'm just gonna. Were you a big gamer? Brent? No.
Not. I mean, back in the day when the last console I would have had. I mean, I have had consoles since that I play Blu-rays on, but like I would have been well into like your Nintendos and say my cousin always had the Nintendo products, and I always had the Sega. Yeah. So then basically we could kind of dip our toes into both franchises, if you know what I mean, if that's the word. But yeah, no, Star Wars ones. I'm a huge Star Wars fan, so it's weird that I haven't really played as much Star Wars.
You've missed out.
I think I got out of gaming, but a lot of friends would play like Knights of the Old Republic and stuff like that, and I would sit and watch someone play the game and see how the story. So if I'm stuck in a game, I put it down and go on with the rest of my life. I'm not one of those people that takes some. I can't understand why anyone. No, I have to beat this. It's 4 a.m. I have work tomorrow, but I have to beat this. I'm like, you know what? I'm over it.
Usually, if you're up at 4 o'clock in the morning, you don't have work the next morning.
Well, but there's a lot of people that get stuck on games. Like I'm not a very good gamer anyway. I got just on a really quick tangent. I got an X-Files game before, and it was Mulder and Scully get kidnapped somewhere.
Oh yeah,
you've got to go.
I
couldn't get out of the FBI headquarters. like Mitch Pileggi.
Click on door.
No, I tried everything. Obviously the game was broke. It wasn't that I just couldn't get out of it. I got my gun and my badge and my mission and just couldn't get out of the building. I'm like, I'm not the man to be tracking.
You know what? This
Mulder and Scully
this is a Star Wars show, but we're happy to go on tangents. This is all about Banter. That's what we do. But I remember loving that game. I remember loving that X-Files game.
I never knew what happened. We should talk after.
Yes.
I can't. Did you find them?
I can't remember. I think you do.
Yeah.
I think.
How did you get out of the FBI headquarters?
Find the key.
I can't remember. It's been that long because I remember I had it in PC.
Yeah.
And then I think it came out in PlayStation 1. It had loads of discs, like about 6 or 7 discs. Yeah. And I remember picking it up on the PlayStation and it wasn't the same because the graphics weren't as good. But the PC version was absolutely perfect. All I remember, I think you find Scully first and then Mulder.
And Mulder, I think, finds you.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I think you find Scully because she's like somewhere.
There's a bit in the boat. There's a bit in the boat near the start. And I remember like you go to the boat. This is a really good Star Wars show. You go in the boat. You go to the boat, and then you have to go back to your wee motel, and then you go back to the boat at night. That's all I remember.
Oh,
I'm just glad they were found because I've been wrapped in guilt since the mid-90s.
Were you kind of sitting when they brought them back on Channel 5? How did they get back?
Who took you from that barn? They get took in a barn, don't they? It's like a video intro and stuff.
Yeah.
When games were kind of changing over. But yeah, no, I'm a backseat gamer, as we call it in work, where I'd sit and watch someone play a game and be really entertained by it. But if I get stuck on something, I'm out.
Yeah, because like talking about PC, like the game I remember loving on the PC, Star Wars related, was X-Wing. Well, there was X-Wing and then there was TIE Fighter and then there was X-Wing versus TIE Fighter. But I remember X-Wing because it was I don't think I ever actually played any missions. I think I literally just took an X-Wing out and farted about in space and just looked at the controls because the controls were exactly as they were in the film. It was perfect.
Shields a double front and everything.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think I ever got very far into the game. I just kind of went off and kind of shot stuff and at space.
See, X-Wing versus TIE Fighter, that was the one that brought in multiplayer over the internet, and this was a big thing. This is like early 90s.
This is dial-up, is it?
Yeah, it was dial-up, and you were playing online against other people. X-Wing Alliance was my favourite because it seemed to have there was a story arc where you were like a family, just a bunch of traders that had like a Millennium Falcon type ship, and you did your missions, and then your family gets killed, and you end up looking to join the rebellion. But it was all that flying about. And
has there ever been one where you were Han Solo or you were?
Other than the only one I can ever think of is ones I fond memory for is like the Super Star Wars on the SNES where you got to play different characters. And I remember adoring those 3 games because I think they were just kind of updated graphical versions of games that had been on the Game Boy and the Nintendo, but I remember the time thinking these were the best things ever. It was like, I think it was maybe the same. It was made by LucasArts, but I think
all Star Wars games would have been.
It had the look of like Earthworm Jim, that kind of same kind of graphic,
sort of sideways platform,
ridiculously hard as well.
Yeah,
so it could be.
I remember Return of the Jedi because it had bits where you were just like, it was a side scroller, and then there was other bits where like it was like you were in the ship and stuff. And that's the only time I think I can ever remember playing Han Solo. I don't think there was many.
I think you could pick him as character in Masters of the Terrace Kazi.
Now, this is a game I've never heard of.
This was a PlayStation fighting game,
right? I think I remember you talking about this. Yeah,
where basically you pick your character and then you beat 7 bells out of the other character.
I'll be Darth Vader,
the weird
please.
thing was, if you were Darth Vader, I think he had a special lightsaber attack, but he didn't cut you with it. It's like he whipped you with it.
Well,
oh, easy, Tiger.
Oh,
see, the
James
have lifted here suddenly.
James Earl Jones, bit of a kinky bugger.
But I was a bit of a mess.
Have they ever done a chess game version of like the 3D hologram? Not like a 3D hologram.
They've done
chess,
Star Wars chess.
Have they done with those creatures or anything?
No, I don't know if they've done that, but I know they have Star Wars chess because I remember having that and kind of going, "This is not X-wing." Because I think I got like a package deal.
Yeah.
In the old days, remember when like PC games were the big massive boxes, and I got like
5 in one box.
It was like it was like 3 big boxes that way. And I remember one was X-wing, one was X-wing versus TIE Fighter, and then I think it was Star Wars chess. And needless to say, Star Wars chess was installed and played, and it's like, I'm not going to play this. I don't understand chess, and having it with Star Wars characters doesn't make it work any better for me. But I do remember. I remember the Game Boy, the very first one, Star Wars. I remember playing that to death on the Game Boy and having like coming back in the car when I was younger, and like when you got to the dreaded point, Mom, the batteries have died. Stop the car. We're on the motorway. Stop the car. I need the batteries. What can I say? I was an overbearing child, but I don't know. I can't remember. I think the best Star Wars games weren't necessary. They took the franchise and did something semi-original with it rather than trying to do the actual film itself.
Yeah, game versions of the movie.
Yeah. Apart from maybe like the Lego ones, maybe there's another one where you get to play with Han Solo. Lego.
Yeah. It's such a huge universe anyway.
Yeah.
Why not try and do something else?
Because what I loved was, I know we're jumping ahead. I think it was PC, but it was PlayStation 2. Knight of the Old Republic. Not the online one, but the first two that really introduced me to
Xbox and PC.
Xbox really introduced me to BioWare.
Yeah.
And I just remember the best thing about that was the fact that it was the sequel. It was the first time I remember that kind of, it remembered your save from the previous. So kind of, it was that kind of idea with Mass Effect. So all the decisions you made from the first one were then. I think part of it was based on your save, and then other bits was like, someone's telling you the story near the start, and it's like, Revan, he was a man, right? It's like, no, I'm sorry, you're incorrect. Revan was a woman. Things like that. But it just blew, like the very first Knights of the Old Republic, which you can get it on the iPhone, and you can get it on the iPad now. It was the fact where, and I might be spoiling this for you, Brian.
Go for it.
But you might get stuck. You might not even get out of your building.
I wouldn't get my
out of your room.
My hilt.
But it was the fact that you were playing as the villain. You were
what?
You were the villain. You had your memory.
You didn't know that you were the
yes,
villain.
Right.
You had your memory wiped. You didn't know who you were, and as the story unfolded, turned out you were the film's villain, or the previous villain. I can't remember the name of the big bad guy, big baldy guy.
Well, there was Revan and there was
Darth, someone guy. Surely
they
probably
were both Darth Malak or something. Wasn't it?
Darth Malak. I think you're right. Darth Malak. I think sounds right.
He sounds like someone running for constituency.
Yeah.
Vote Darth Malak. But I just remember, like, and then you could make the decision whether you wanted to be light side or dark side.
Yeah.
And that's what I absolutely loved.
That game's like set thousands of years before the
yeah,
rest of it, so you had plenty of stuff there.
And I think it was. I think the story was written by George Lucas. I think
something like that,
or it was approved by George Lucas, because the one
he would have been in control then.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah.
Because there's that, and then there's other one that's that kind of same idea of Knights of the Old Republic. Is the one? Was it the one with the clone? Or what was it?
Republic Commando?
No, there was a more recent one that had the Star Wars. It was not Dark Forces. The more recent one where they had they had one and then they had a sequel where your character dies at the end, and then in the sequel he's brought back as a complete clone. He's sorry, I'm going to get it now. He is
Force Unleashed.
Force Unleashed, where you are Darth Vader's unknown apprentice.
Okay.
Which was a great idea for a first game, and then the second game I just destroyed it because it was just like either way he died, he was a clone.
It was a bit weird, just sort of.
But you're the Yoda. You should have played this. Why not?
I played the first one. Didn't mind it. The second one, I don't know. The problem with games like those ones was they got very repetitive really quickly.
Yeah.
I just couldn't be bothered.
What about the gimmick stuff? So I remember the Wii coming out. Did they ever really,
There was a Star Wars game that came out for the Kinect.
with you could actually wield the lightsaber with
Well,
your
it was the
controller?
Rancor thing where you could stand in front of it and walk, and basically you were the Rancor, and one of the levels is you have to wreck as much as you can as you're walking along. So you're walking along with
If only you could see the visuals.
But
Was there not, seeing that
there
Kinect
was-
game, was there not like a dance-off with Lando Calrissian or something stupid?
like that.
Yeah.
Well, now I'm interested. Right.
See?
now,
I think there
now
has
I'm like,
been-
what console's
There
this on?
has been a lightsaber.
With the cape and everything.
I think there was a lightsaber.
But does he
game
have
for
his
the Wii.
cape on?
You bring your own kit.
Oh, okay.
There's a website actually that you can go to. I forget what it is, but it's an official Star Wars site. And if you view the site on your PC with your Chrome browser, it tells you to put your phone to a certain
Oh, yes,
address
that's
on the
right.
same Wi-Fi
Right.
network. And basically, then what happens is your phone is the hilt of the lightsaber,
Oh,
and your PC is your point of view. And basically, you've got stormtroopers shooting at you, and your whole thing is you have to.
deflect the
Deflect
laser.
the-
I love how Bill's like. I mean, it's just
But it's,
he's
but
living
it's
it.
Perfect.
living it.
It's
He's living
absolutely
it.
perfect.
How many things do you knock over in the house
Yeah.
playing that?
I was at work playing it.
That's terrible security
Yeah.
at that work.
It's
Yeah.
awful.
It's all right. Brian still be stuck in the office though.
I'd still, yeah.
But
That
it's-
phone?
It's very good. It's very good.
Excellent.
But no, I have to say,
But
like,
there hasn't been enough of that.
no,
Interact.
I know there is a really crap like the iPhone app that lets you pretend as if you've got a lightsaber in your hand, but that's not the same.
Just makes the noise, really, doesn't it?
Yeah, I can make the
But
noise.
you can do that yourself.
Yeah.
Vroom, vroom.
But then if you wanted to say something and do the noise, that's like Police Academy style of kind of vocal.
Oh, Michael Winslow! I can say to my shame, I went to see Michael Winslow live when he came to the.
Was he good?
No.
Really?
That was at Oma, wasn't it?
No, that was in
Grand Opera
Belfast,
House?
the Grand Opera House. I went to see. I remember thinking, it's one of those moments when you realize maybe as I kind of said, misremembered youth, where you kind of go to yourself, I don't trust my younger self anymore. It's like when you kind of go to yourself, maybe the girl from Police Academy, she wasn't as hot as what you initially
No, she
thought.
is.
Is she?
What,
Kim-
Leslie Easterbrook?
Kim Cattrall?
Oh,
Kim Cattrall, she's in the original film, but
yeah.
Leslie Easterbrook, who's got great assets.
Yes.
Yeah. Callahan? Was
But-
that name? Callahan?
She was in one of the Rob Zombie films.
Wouldn't surprise me.
And Rob Zombie loves his old,
Boobies.
Booba doobs.
well, that too.
But no, I remember going to see Michael Winslow because he does a whole thing about because he's in Spaceballs. He does the whole routine from Spaceballs that he does in that. And I remember sitting, I wasn't that long going out with Amber, and we're going to go out for the best ever Saturday night. It's going to be a guy, he can make every noise known to man.
Yeah.
And all those noises, they kind of sound the same. How many times he had to open a joke with, I opened the door, and you're like, oh God, he's going to,
did he do the voice? What was the voice of the door? What was the noise of the door?
oh, I can't, I can't do it. I'm no Michael Winslow, but it was just a noise, literally, hang on a minute, I'll
It's
just
a
open
pity
up
we didn't have him on the show, isn't it?
I'm sure we can. Or it was like every joke was like I was on a plane and I put the light and it's like, oh no, and he was pressing the buzzer and he just does the whole thing and like there's part of me kind of going, there's a 10-year-old me would love to go see this, but I was maybe 25, 26 then. It's like no, I've outgrew
It's a
this
shame.
because one thing I want to do for a podcast, a further podcast discussion, is I want to go back to Rotten Tomatoes, not percents. The 0% movies, because a lot of the Police Academy films get 0%, and I think
What?
unrightfully so.
Yeah.
Unrightfully
I
so.
grew up with them,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So did I.
So, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
that's like a documentary. That's how the police really are.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they're all
It
like
is.
that.
Rats start with apples.
Yeah. We all go to the Blue Lagoon.
Yeah.
Isn't it the Blue
Blue
Lagoon?
Oyster.
Blue Oyster. Blue Oyster, that's the one, yeah. How many times you can go to the same club? Oh.
Oh, a manly man.
Speaking of vocal things and stuff,
Yeah.
surely Mark Hamill has lent his voice to one of these Star Wars games, seeing as he's Mr. Voice.
I don't know.
Surprisingly,
I don't
For
think
sure his
so.
voice, the original Star Wars arcade game, it was one of the first arcades to have proper vocal
Dialogue,
sounds,
I think.
and because it's got Ben Kenobi saying "use the Force," and it's got Luke Skywalker saying, I can't remember what he says, but he does say.
Can't remember him saying that.
But he does say something, so I'm sure.
So he gets a line in that, but doesn't in Force Awakens.
No. Let's see how far we can push Bill over the edge. I can't think because he did have that kind of. Like Mark Hamill was kind of like the whole thing with Spock. Like he kind of went away from Star Wars for a while.
He did that so different series, Wing Commander.
Yeah, he was big with Wing
I
Commander.
love Wing Commander 3.
Yeah,
I think it's brilliant.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking. It's just in the back of my mind I could see him on a.
He's acting against a giant tiger,
Heart
man
of
or
the
something.
Tiger.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Heart of the Tiger, Wing Commander 3 against the Kilrathi.
Like a Rocky movie.
It's awesome. It's such a good game.
Okay, I knew you. Are you like?
Well, he's
Flight Simulator or
Commander.
something?
What was it? Commander Christopher.
Stalford.
Christopher
Stalford, who's
Christopher
running
Guest?
for election here in DUP.
Christopher Cross.
No,
Christopher Eccleston?
His name is Christopher something. But that's a really good game. And then the fourth one is The Price of Freedom.
$5.99. Whatever the price of this video game is.
But it's
I just thought with him being such he's an amazing Joker and stuff, so he would have been, lending his voice to it, especially in those barn years, like you say, Leigh, where he wasn't really,
Neutronics,
he wasn't getting any more
Slipstream years.
Slipstream, he wasn't getting any roles on movies and stuff, but
Poor old Mark.
I'm sure he's got it, yeah.
But maybe was he I don't know? Was he a big voiceover artist until the only really thing I can think of is Batman, because we were talking about this earlier on with Mask of Phantasm. Like that's when I can remember him suddenly emerging as a voiceover actor.
Yeah,
and even that I can't.
He was the trickster in the Flash.
Yeah,
in the 90s.
It was a nice nod because they brought him back.
Brought him back for Flash. Yeah, but like Ford or no one would have done anything then. I take it.
No.
Anthony Daniels has surely done something.
Yes,
I'm sure.
He's done voiceover for
Absolutely.
Paycheck, you say?
Come on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Money, you say?
I think he's actually what's the game I like that I really, really like? Empire at War. It's like Space Simulator, sort of where you build your space force.
Yeah. Star Wars Battlefront, is it not?
No, you're in space, and it's like you invade a system in space, so all your big capital ships shoot off against capital ships, but then you send your troops down onto the planet, and then it's all your troops then attacking the other troops.
And he's in that, do you think?
Well, he's the wee
he's
he
3PO?
guides you or whatever. Yeah.
Oh, he's not 3PO?
No, he is. He's 3PO.
Oh, right, okay.
It was a bit weird if it was Anthony Daniels just popping up.
I just thought maybe he's branching out and doing another voice. No, just
you can get. It's not like you can get anyone. It's not really hard to get anyone for R2D2. Like,
yeah, just somebody.
I've got that saved in a MP3.
Yeah. Beep, boop, boop. There
There's
we go.
a lot of kids with Tourette's that kind of sound like it anyway. It's just you edit out the fuck,
Beep, boop, beep, boop, beep, beep, boop.
So I always thought R2 was a bit Tourette's. I must admit,
I love watching the videos people have of him.
Actually,
you see the
subtitles.
Lando's gotta have showed up.
Lando's
gotta have shown up in a few video games. I would say that's one of those like Star Wars Battlefront or something.
Possibly.
5 minutes of work, couple of grands check. Yeah. I'm sure.
Billy D. Williams.
I'm sure Billy would have picked up. It's like, okay.
No, I don't think so.
But if you're going to hire Billy D. Williams, you want to see him.
Yeah.
You don't want just the voice. You want the whole package.
You just want the cape.
And the cape.
You just want a talking cape.
I want him swishing the cape just over me. Sorry.
No. I'm just gonna. I think you went on a tangent there, Brian.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I mean, it was Star Wars games. Like, there is loads. Like, as I say, X-Wing for me, Knights of the Old Republic, I remember adoring. And was one of those, in later years, one of the games I remember, I've finished it. It's like, I'm going to go back and start it all over again and make all the different choices and maybe be light side and dark side.
I never finished it.
I
always got bored.
I finished the first one. I don't think I finished the second one, but like as you're saying, I sat and watched my flatmate at the time finish Knights of the Republic 2. And Knights of the Republic 2 was annoying because it was one of those, it took you on this like, right, you're going to find Revan from the first game, you're going into the Outer Rim, and nothing happened. And then you had that multiplayer one, and I'm sorry, multiplayer games, just online multiplayer stuff just doesn't do anything. But it's a bit like the way with Battlefront or Battlefield, whatever it is, the new one now that's out on...
Battlefield's alright, but I got sick of it. I got sick of the because it's only online.
Yeah,
it's the whole leveling up system. It's like you need to play to earn credits to buy better weapons, which means you're getting pasted a lot because everybody else has been sitting up since fucking 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. Or our 12-year-old kids that don't go to school or something. So you're cutting out of the work and
exactly.
and their
you only
days
manage
ahead
to
of
get
you.
an hour on the game, so you're not going to level up.
Yeah.
That's why I think Battlefront 2, Star Wars Battlefront 2 for the original Xbox is probably one of the better games because it had a single player campaign where you were a stormtrooper or a clone trooper, and it was voiced by Tamara Morrison.
Okay,
it was actually, all the cutscenes was him because you were playing his character, and then later on you did play Vader and stuff and all that sort of stuff, because it is essentially that storyline's about the rise of the 501st, Vader's Fist.
Okay.
Which is Vader's own personal stormtrooper company. So it was actually, it was pretty good. It had elements from episode 3 in it, right up to New Hope.
That'd be a good standalone movie if they ever done it.
Absolutely.
Like that.
Maybe it's not canon now.
Mm-hmm.
No, it is canon.
Is it?
Yeah. Oh, it's canon.
Just because you say it is doesn't make sense.
No, it's canon because it was before Lucas got rid of all the stuff, and it's between episode 3 and 4. So.
Right, with you.
But it doesn't spoil episode 3 and 4 because you have to capture Princess Leia. That's one of the levels.
Many a man has fantasized about that. I'm sure many a woman too.
Yeah, probably.
We're
I still kind of do.
I still would.
Yeah.
Even now, or. But would you want to dress up now, or would you want to like classic? You see, I think. See, if I had Princess Leia, I'd say to right, love, get the outfit from Jabba's palace.
Get the old 7 and 9 costume out.
I don't. I don't
Let's
think.
mix some franchise, baby.
I don't think it would be the same if Carrie Fisher was in the costume now from Jabba's palace. I don't think it would be the same, Bill.
She would probably need. She would need a new hip after.
Is this after
Would you use the Force? Is that what you're saying?
Too much. The punch of a donkey, maybe.
Would you give her the full saber?
Vroom, vroom.
Oh, I think this is the weirdest podcast I think we've ever recorded. We've struggled to say.
It's supposed to be about computer games.
I know
what
what
you're doing.
Well, is it all about computer games?
No, it's not.
Can I ask Bill? Right, you play the tabletop.
Yes.
Right, one, and I just know from working where I work, it's absolutely huge at the minute.
That's very popular.
Two things: is it the gameplay, or is it the fact that the collectability aspect of it, where you can build fleets? Because to me, it reminds me of a kid buying the action figures as a kid and the vehicles and stuff.
It's kind of both.
It's
weird because we do a lot of charity work with the Emerald Garrison, and we go around, we put on events and stuff, and we find, speaking to a lot of the Garrison ones, I mean, they're buying those things off the peg like they're going out of fashion, and it's because they're pre-painted and they look beautiful.
Yeah.
They're proper replicas of the ships. And we find that all these guys were maybe buying 10 X-Wings and 10 TIE Fighters at a time, leaving them in the packaging as they do. And they've got them all at home in their collector's cases and all. They're actually collecting them rather than playing. So we've sort of talked a few of them around, and there's a lot of us play, but...
Was there not a nervous moment you said, like, you have to take it out of the packaging?
Yeah,
Ooh.
Kind of. They're not used to that kind of
because they're not clamshell. They're actually, you would have to break the packaging.
You need to cut them open. Yeah. But we've got them playing, and it's one of the... In tabletop gaming, it's one of the most popular games, especially at a tournament level now. I mean, normally... Tabletop gaming, it would have been the likes of Warhammer and things like that, but they've fallen by the wayside now. X-Wing is probably the big.
It looks expensive.
It's not too bad for what you get.
Right
now, as a gamer myself, I know that I can. If I want to play a World War II game, I need to maybe spend 50 or 60 quid on a bunch of models.
Yeah.
I need to sit and build those. I need to sit and paint those. Yeah. So there's time invested in that. Whereas with X-Wing, I can go out and I can spend maybe 40, 50 quid, and that's me with a tournament legal army, and I can just go and play.
Is it something you could just say, right, we're 4 of us around here, we've got a table. Is it just as easy, like picking up a console? It up.
It is. It's literally as simple as that.
To me, it looks very much like Risk.
No. It's not. Basically, the way that works is everybody secretly plans their move on their maneuver dial. And then the person with the highest or the person with the lowest pilot skill No, the person with the highest pile skill goes first.
You're talking now. This is not just.
Well, it's basically it's not that bad.
Alright.
It's not that bad.
But it's not a dice throwing game.
There is dice,
Right,
yeah.
okay.
You roll the hit and things.
So,
like that. But they don't. The game doesn't take that long. It's about 30 minutes.
Right.
but that my concern would be, Leigh has 17 AT-ATs, and I show
There's
up.
no AT-ATs in space.
Leigh
there.
has 17 slave ones, and I show
Can't
up.
have 17.
Leigh has 17 Star Destroyers.
Can't
Just
have
humour-
17
just humour him,
Star
Bill.
Destroyers.
Leigh has
It's
17
all on a
vehicles, and I
points-
have one.
It's a points system, so basically everything's costed out.
So no matter
So
what
your ship-
army Leigh has, he can only play with a certain amount.
Yeah,
Okay.
the tournament points level is about 100 points.
Okay.
TIE fighters are about 17 or 18.
So in other words, like say, like does a novice say if I was to play you, I'm a novice, and you're a more seasoned pilot, do then you have a clear advantage when you're going in that way?
Not really, because it's all random.
It's
You know,
random
it's-
luck. Yeah.
Alright.
It's random luck. I mean, there's certain things you can do to sort of help. You know, you can strategize to a certain level, but ultimately it's all going to come down to the dice rolls.
Like well, we're talking about board games. Now we're venturing into that world. Have any of you ever played Star Wars Monopoly?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
I think
there we
I've-
go.
I think
See,
I've
there we
gotten
go.
a few-
We're back on tangent. We're
Got
back
into
on
a few
tangent.
fights of that game.
Yeah.
As you do with any version of Monopoly.
Yeah.
I haven't played it yet.
Have you not? No.
No, I wasn't able to get it out of the box. No. Tell me then. I'm the audience who's never played this. So, what's the money like? Is it dollars or credit dollars?
It's Imperial credits.
Is it
Imperial
Imperial
credits, yeah.
Okay. Is the jail then what? Jabba's Palace or something?
No, I think it's just like the cell block and
Oh, right.
the Death Star.
Yeah, I think is it not? Yeah, it is. I think you're on the Death Star. You're in the. I think it's just jail. It's been a while since I played it.
It's been a
It
while.
has been a while since I played it, but I just remember kind of going, I'm weird like that. It's like, Mum would buy me, I remember when Christmas bought me like the Belfast edition of Monopoly. It's like, ugh, get it away.
I've
Get it
the
away. Get
Lisburn
it
edition.
What?
Lisburn, like,
Is there enough?
What did
places
you,
to buy in Lisburn?
what did you buy?
Lisburn.
Why did you buy the
it's
Lisburn?
called Market Square. I have it. I
Oh,
swear to God,
Did
make
you
this
buy
yourself?
it? Did you buy it?
bought it.
It was built with crayons.
Oh, I
are all the
swear to
colours
God.
just brown?
And who do you? What's the little characters then? Is it like wee Spidey guy and a
You know what? I'm going to bust
shopper.
it out at some point. It's something
Free parking, £2.
It is Lisburn.
it is a city, isn't it?
Yeah. And
Well,
all
then
but
I
Sorry,
know.
now-
did you say shitty?
Yeah.
That's like saying like if there was a Newry edition of Monopoly. That's
There's
city.
other
That's-
kids.
Well,
Sure there is, probably.
I don't know.
That's harsh.
That would be harsh.
You wouldn't wish that on anybody. Happy birthday.
Happy
Happy birthday, son. Here's the
surely the
Monopoly. Here's the Newry edition of Monopoly.
But
The
surely
currency
nearly-
is fucking drug needles or something.
Surely it's just a game that you go through to get to another game.
I know. Roll of dice.
the rule.
You're stuck in Uri.
You just have
shit.
it. You just play the Newry edition to get to the Dublin edition. That's what it is. Maybe the Dublin airport. That's about it.
What's the Star Wars universe equivalent of Newry then?
Ooh,
The Rancor pit, maybe?
that's too generous.
Rancor's toilet.
Okay, fair enough.
What I don't know. What the waste disposal from Star Wars?
Yeah.
No, because
Because that creature that exists, that's just a
creature
typical
is-
Newry.
Has an eye. So
it's sentient.
that's terrible. I know people from Newry,
Yeah,
but I don't take
So
anything
do I,
back.
to be fair. It's not that bad.
yeah. You wouldn't want to visit them though. They visit you.
Yeah.
They can all come up to your house and
And
play
you-
Lisburn
you-
Monopoly.
Then-
Check their pockets on the way out.
And then afterwards, it's like, no, I don't want to go home now. Fuck off. Now, maybe back to Newry.
Get out!
Back to Star Wars.
Yes.
Back to Star Wars. Any other big games you can think of, Bill?
There was Star Wars Risk and stuff like that,
Yeah.
you know. They're pretty much labelled Star Wars.
Anything at
like.
all they can do.
Yeah, there's the chess sets, not just interactive
Yeah.
chess. There's
Star Wars
Star-
can't change it.
Yeah, Star Wars.
Star
Wars
Wars playing cards.
Yeah, Star Wars tic-tac-toe.
Star Wars Go Fish. There's always a bigger fish.
There's always a bigger thing.
Yeah, Star Wars Guess Who. I'm pretty certain there is one of those.
Probably is, you know.
Yeah.
There was like a wee puzzle game out
There's not
years
there,
ago
isn't
called
there?
Star Wars Pit Droids,
Right?
where I suppose we didn't talk about pod racing game.
No.
Oh,
That was very
no.
good,
Okay,
and
yeah.
it was a very good arcade as well.
Oh, I remember. But it had the full. They had the full pod.
Full
Yeah.
pod, and you steered it with the.
Because the only place I
joysticks.
remember the old. This was when I was starting out in university. There was the bowling alley round kind of up where the movie house is and where the BBC
Yeah,
building is.
yeah.
It had the full pod race, and it had the one where you could sit in.
It's not there anymore.
No,
No,
it's
it's
not.
a-
Sports Bowl.
Sports
It's
Port,
gone.
that's it.
RGB or RBG.
Yeah, it's the hotel or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all gone.
It's all
Memories.
gone.
What was the one that we were chatting months ago? You were going to play this arcade game, and you had to
the battle pod.
You had to wait until the kid got off.
Aye, the battle pod.
Is that what it was?
It's like
you took a day off work, didn't you, Bill?
Aye,
You phoned in sick, but there was nothing wrong with you. Isn't that what you did, Bill? What day was that? What date? And I just saw the security's listening. But yeah, I remember you saying, and yeah, there's a photograph of you waiting.
No comment.
No.
But it's very good. It's like 3D immersive bubble.
Right.
And you're there and you pick your level and you've got the two joysticks, one for speed and one for thing. But it's totally immersive. I mean, everywhere you look, that's
awesome.
It's beautiful. The X-Wing bit in it is just amazing.
That reminds me.
It's in Newcastle. It's pretty cool.
Although it's not a video game, you know the 360 panoramic video they released.
Yeah.
Before
the speeder
Force
bit.
Awakens.
Yeah.
You know.
That was impressive.
That was amazing.
I did films bad, but that was impressive.
Yeah. BB-8 was showed up at some point, didn't he? He kind of picked out.
Yeah.
So.
What about you, Leigh? Any other video games you can think of, or anything we can think of? Anything Star Wars related? Because this is May the 4th.
There was, I think I mentioned earlier on, but Republic Commando.
Yeah.
I actually quite enjoyed that game because it was sort of probably one of the few good things to come out of those prequels. But it was like a kind of a tactical squad-based game, a bit like Rainbow Six or one of those games. But you were playing as the clone troopers, and it actually had a pretty good story as far as I remember. And the gameplay, all the troopers had different sort of abilities or different specialities. So it was good.
I can remember all the things I remember going away from, since we're moving away from video games. I remember having, I think I found one recently. Do you know, like the choose your own story books? I remember loving them.
Yeah, they're
because I have one of them. Because funny, I thought I had picked up a James Bond one, but it was just a really complicated like dice game. I was like, I opened it and looked at it. I was like, nah, I'm not going to be ever playing that. I'll put that away. I thought this was a choose your own adventure where you get the point. And then Bond met, like, I don't know, Sofa, I don't know, a lot of vagina. She's like, do you ride her or not? It's like, he rides her. Of course he does. It's Bond. He gets
to
it.
end of book.
You have every STD known to man. Ah, well. It's what Bond would have wanted.
It is.
But no, I do remember those. I remember loving those books.
Yeah, I had a couple of ninja ones actually. Ninja
I had a few Indiana Jones ones as well.
Oh, they were awesome.
Because that's a LucasArts product as well.
Yeah.
And on that tangent, there's been a couple of good Indiana Jones games.
There has.
There has been.
There has. Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis.
Yes.
It's probably the big one. They were going to turn that into
Is that a side scroller, isn't it?
Yeah.
Adventure?
Or platform? No.
No,
Was it not
it's like point and click.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, right.
Like
that's so
Day of the Tentacle.
Yeah. Very, very good. Very good.
Yeah. So what would we say, chaps, would be our definitive Star Wars video game?
What about Lego? Star Wars Lego game?
I
What are
think
they like?
Shadows of the Empire would be up there.
Think so?
Really?
I used to love the book of that. That was a cracking book.
That was kind of the one that was kind of the sequel. That was the kind of the unofficial Chapter 7, wasn't it?
No, the Shadows of the Empire takes place between, it sort of takes place during the Battle of Hoth.
Yeah.
Up to, just sort of through Empire Strikes Back, really. Because you encounter IG-88 and you encounter, what do you call them? Boba Fett and stuff as well. You play a character called Dash Rendar.
Mm-hmm.
Dash Rendar.
Oh, but was there not the book Shadow of the Empire?
Yes,
yeah, I'm thinking
the comic series.
The book was kind of the unofficial episode 7.
No, it was like what happened between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi.
Right.
It was like them
because
trying to
was
rescue
against Prince Sizor.
Yeah,
there we go.
They're trying to rescue Han
And
Solo.
Admiral
See, there's
Thrawn.
whole loads of stuff I don't know about.
Yeah, but all that's kind of been retconned now, unfortunately. Although, again, Dash Rendar and the Outrider ship still exist in the X-Wing minis game. So the character's still there, the ship's still there, but maybe the story isn't.
So for people listening, Bill, that maybe want to get into the X-Wing game, like where do you guys meet, or how can people find out more about Wii Gamers? And how would you recommend, for starting out, how much would you say someone, like, for thinking of playing that, how much you're going to have to spend?
Well, starter set is, £30?
Right.
There's 2 different starter sets. You've got starter set with the original you get 1 X-Wing and 2 TIE Fighters. And then there's some other starter set about some other film with a different kind of X-Wing and a different kind of TIE Fighter.
Yeah. Can you get a Millennium Falcon?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. I think most of the ships are available.
Right.
And they've actually, like I say, they've taken stuff from the computer games and, like, some of the ones from X-Wing and TIE Fighter.
Yeah.
They've actually taken some of those ships from those games.
That's cool, though. That means it's like the different brands. It must be great for fans, to get
But what appeals to people is the fact that they're pre-painted. So even if you just buy them to look at them.
Yeah, because I remember I was obsessed for a while, like many a child, I'm sure, with Warhammer. And I remember going to the Warhammer shop in Castle Court. I think it's still there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Games Workshop.
And I remember Games Workshop going in there and seeing all these amazing models in the centre, and kind of go, oh yes, that's the one I want. And then you go home and they're grey, and then you go, all right, I'm going to paint them, and mine just was like literally just red, dip, bloop, in red. Maybe got the old pen mark out. There's some eyes for you, son. There you go. Mine never looked that good.
Yep.
Mine never looked that good.
I hear you.
But a colourful bottle, I'm sure it was.
Yeah, I'm sure it was. Or sometimes you ran out of red. It's like, well, you're just going to be the grey troopers. You're going to be drab. I
remember when I first started painting, I forgot to buy a flesh colour.
Right.
So I had to mix. I had red and I had black.
Right.
So I mixed two together to make brown. Right. So basically all my guys were brown skinned.
Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing at all. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. It was just, I didn't have.
At least you weren't like Star Wars, where there's only one black guy in the entire universe.
Yeah.
There's two now.
Well, two now.
There's three.
Yeah. Three?
Oh, I missed Windu.
Oh,
You remember them movies? Remember the prequels?
Yeah. Right enough.
Forgo.
Yeah.
Keep forgetting about Al Mace and his purple lightsaber.
Yeah. I think Samuel L. had him and Quentin get together and laugh about that all the time, I'm sure. I got them to be purple.
Can't believe George said it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I've never found myself. I've always been intrigued by board gaming, but I've never found myself taking the plunge.
Some really good Star Wars board games.
Because part of me does think I would just be terrified and I would just lose my life, and then I'll just end up spending loads of money on it.
There is a danger of that, absolutely. But
because I know what I'm like with comics now that I've got back into comics. Like, right, I am a completionist and I want everything now.
Life's too short.
Like tabletop gaming is one of the successes of the recession.
Yeah,
because what had happened was people like, we can't afford to go out, so we'll buy a board game and the six of us will sit in the house and play it. And
while getting drunk.
Getting drunk to cheap booze, and it's just escalated,
Yeah, because there's a brilliant one. I think it was a friend of the show, Niall McGuinness. I think he had, like, I ended up buying, there's a zombie one. There's a brilliant zombie one.
Zombicide?
Yeah, I think that's him.
Zombicide's very good.
Yeah. Pandemic is the one that sells really well. Yes. Like an outbreak of something or whatever.
But there's board games of everything now. Like, outside of Star Wars, like, I was saying to you, there's a board game of Ghostbusters.
I have it.
And what's your thoughts?
It's alright.
Is it new Ghostbusters or old Ghostbusters?
It's old Ghostbusters, and I bought it because...
You want to hold on to the memories?
Yes, essentially, because this is going to be the last opportunity, I think, of the Ghostbusters brand having a good name.
Yeah, but it's alright, they'll be back in the new one as well. Yeah. I don't know, I know we're going on tangents and we'll probably wrap things up, but I'm excited for the new Ghostbusters. I genuinely am.
We'll give it a go.
I don't think
watch it.
Paul Feig hasn't made a bad movie yet.
Well, this is it. I think that as well, and I think those girls are funny.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know.
The biggest thing for me is whether they are in the same universe as the old. If it's a reboot, come on, why'd you do that? But even in the trailers, it's like 30 years ago type of thing.
This is the thing. It's said that it doesn't exist. We talked about this in the TV show where they have Paul Feig's been saying that it's a world Ghostbusters never existed, but then first thing from the trailer, bang on. 30 years ago, and you're like, is that just lip service to the fans, or?
Well, I don't know. I know too much about it to be excited about it because I know who the bad guy is.
Okay.
Well, there's the bad guys.
And I know how he comes about.
So how do you know this? Have you been chatting? Have you been chatting
Again,
Paul?
The toys have spoiled it.
Okay.
I've heard something about the big bad where he's meant to look quite cute. Where he looks quite cute.
He's called Rowan.
Yeah, that's it, Rowan. And doesn't want to be alone.
He's the emblem. He's the ghost and the emblem of the
right,
Ghostbusters.
Okay.
So that's the form he takes because they get the option of choose your.
Right.
Oh, right. So that's their Stay Puft. Okay.
It'll be great. It's gonna be a great show.
I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah.
Give it a go.
Is it gonna be another? I don't know.
It can't be.
Can't be another Bill bullshit.
It can't be.
I think that's going to put that in a category.
I don't know.
Bill's bullshit movies.
I think
I want that in a segment in the TV show.
I honestly think that's maybe me getting older and being. I think I'm getting more cynical, but I think I'm getting more cynical because my cynicity, if there is such a word, keeps getting proven right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's like, if I take a cynic view, I'm usually right. And it's like,
You know what? You're
So go in low is what you're saying. Go in low.
No, but
go in low and be proved right that
if
you
I
had low.
keep going in low, I'm going to end up fucking hanging from a rafter or something. I need something to I need to be wrong. I need to find joy again.
So,
but they keep ruining things.
So I just go back and play your board games or play your old Star Wars video games.
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
And you find happiness. Or just sit and wait for another child to get off the arcade game.
Get off my ball pod.
Get off the fuck. Mum, he just cursed at me. Fuck off. I think we've rambled on enough, peeps. So thank you very much, Bill.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Brian.
I'm concerned for Bill, but thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll pass on the Smartens phone number after this recording. And thank you very much, Leigh.
Thank you.
And if you've been traumatized by anything you've listened to here, yes, we can assure that Bill's okay.
At this moment.
Yes.
For the purpose of the recording, anyway.
For now, Bill's okay. So until next time, thank you very much. And don't forget, may the 4th be with you. And tomorrow, may the 5th.
This has been We Need to Talk About Movies. Thanks for listening. For more information, visit banterflix.com. See you next time.
I think our podcast, we're going to delve into your psyche, Bill, more.
No, don't.
Just do a Bill watch.
That's dark.
I'll run that past Marlon next week. Bill's bullshit features. Bill's bullshit movies. Bill's bullshit movies.
Bill's bullshit. Well, this week I particularly found.
No, it'll just be this, and it's like you'll do this whole review, and do you know what I thought? Bullshit.
Bullshit. I call bullshit in that time travel stuff in Looper.